Scoop Sandwich here, and my take on gun control is this. Gun control is not natural in American culture. That's not who we are as a people. Let us be free to make our own choices. If people want that, they'll show it at the ballot box. Now, the media has a tendency to blow up every mass shooting, everything that happens, make it into something real big. Then change public opinion to create some kind of false rallying cry to get the laws changed. The American people don't want that. They don't want guns banned. They don't want universal background checks. They don't want handgun bans. They don't want magazine limits. Not only do the American people not want these things, you take things like having a gun database, enhanced background checks, magazine limits, handgun bans, gun-free zones. How do these things actually protect anyone? You take a criminal, and he's obviously willing to break the law, and you put him in one of these zones. He doesn't care about how many rounds his magazine can carry. That's not really a concern of his. The police have power in these zones. Criminals have power. But your average law-abiding citizen has no power. No power at all. You look at some of the cities in the United States. Flint, Michigan, Detroit, Chicago, Washington, D.C. These are places with very, very strict gun control laws. Very, very strict. And violence there is astronomical. Your average citizen has no power at all. When you really look at things, historically, gun restrictions and gun bans have not significantly decreased gun violence or violence in general. That's why I think instead of trying to micromanage society into some grand utopian dreamland that can't ever exist, these big government types should just leave the people alone. Leave us alone and just let us be free and let us defend ourselves and our own families. Now, I have an interesting opinion piece here by Joyce Lee Malcolm from the Wall Street Journal called Two Cautionary Tales of Gun Control. Now, after a school massacre, the UK banned handguns in 1998. A decade later, handgun crime doubled. Now, in the UK, the penalty for possessing an illegal firearm is 10 years, up to 10 years in prison. Now, some might say, not me, but some might say that that's worth it if it significantly reduces gun violence in a country, that a law like that would be worth it. But gun violence in that country doubled in that time frame. It doubled. So you're taking something away from people. You're saying you can't have that. It's too dangerous for you to have. We're going to do this in the name of protecting people. We're going to take this away. Yet crime with such a thing doubled in a 10-year period. That just doesn't, that doesn't add up. That just doesn't give me a lot of confidence in the effectiveness of gun control legislation. Now, to quote from the same piece, gun crime, not a serious problem in the past, now is. Armed street gangs have some British police carrying firearms for the first time. Now, if gun grabbers who were so concerned about you and I owning firearms, if they themselves carried, then they would be far more capable to defend themselves or their families from criminals or the mentally ill. Instead, law-abiding citizens are sitting ducks, and they're easy targets, easy prey for all kinds of criminals and mentally deranged people. And it's really a shame that that's in their minds, that utopia that they're always seeking is a utopia where you can't defend yourself. Now, gun control laws won't stop every person that are willing to break the law, but one thing's for sure, they will stop 100% of the people who are going to follow laws. That's just a fact. If you're a person who's going to follow laws, gun control laws will stop you. Now, my conclusion from this piece is that gun control laws did not significantly decrease gun violence or violence in general in the UK or in Australia. Now, in the United States, people generally consider the infringement of Second Amendment rights to be a negative thing. They don't want that. That's not something that they want. It's something ingrained in our culture. Yet, there are a lot of people that really want to take that away, especially a lot of people in the media and a lot of progressive politicians. People generally in the United States like to have the ability to defend themselves. They like to have the ability to potentially defend themselves from an oppressive government. They like to hunt, go plinking, target shooting, and a whole lot of other things that, depending on how restrictive gun control laws are, they might not be able to do anymore. This is why I strongly oppose statists who are trying to take away my rights and micromanage society. Even if there was definitive proof that strong gun control laws drastically reduce violent crime, which there isn't, I would still oppose them. Like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget that the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Scoop out.